Hey everyone, welcome to the screencast for MAUI Module 3. This is just going to be an overview of our survey software. This is called Class Climate. It's a product of the Scantron Corporation. It's a really good software, and we're fortunate to have it here at Northeast. Again, the purpose of this is just to give you an overview of how this software works, since many of you do use survey data in your respective IE plans. I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes, so let's just dive right in. I'm not going to go through a ton of the minutiae of how this works, the details, but I'm just going to hopefully give you a feel for how it all works. This is all the questionnaire forms that we've created for our purposes here at Northeast. If you look through the list, you'll probably see some that maybe you use or that you've seen the fruits of in different reports that we release, but we're going to focus on this one here. MAUI Module 3 Community Hula Class Course Evaluation. We're going to pretend for a minute that we have a Community Hula class. Maybe it's something that's been offered through the fitness center, and the course is ended after the semester is over, and we're going to do a course evaluation just to give some feedback on that course. Here we have our form that we have created, and you can see I've already set this up as a survey in true Food Network fashion. It's currently in the oven. It's processing now, so it's going to say that you can't. It's been set to read-only mode, but for our purposes, we can change that. We can click on Edit Mode, and it's going to warn me you're crazy. You don't want to change something, but for our purposes, we can do that right now. So it's going to pop back up in just a second. There it is. Okay, good. So you can see I've kind of got it divided into three sections. The first one is demographics, and I just use these tools over here on the side to put these different elements into the survey. I've got age, I've got how did you hear about our Community Hula class. This is a cool feature that our software has. All these different options of how you heard about it, but let's say there's something that they heard about in a different way that we weren't anticipating. I've given an other option, and then through a feature called filtering, other survey softwares call it logic. If they select that button other, then this option or this question 1.3 will then appear. If they don't click other, they will never see this, and it gives them an opportunity to actually write in how they heard about that hula class. Then also, do you have any previous experience in hula? This is going to be important to us because let's say that this course was especially intended for those who have no experience in hula. And so while we want to get results from everyone, we're going to be especially interested in those that have no experience at the end. So moving into our second section, satisfaction. A lot of you that use survey data rely heavily on these Likert scale questions. Typically, here at Northeast, we use 5-point scales, or in other words, 5 options, and we give them normally a chance to say if something is not applicable or doesn't apply to them. There are different schools of thought on how many points to use on these scales. I think 5 is sufficient. Some people say 7, some people say more, but traditionally we've done 5, and that's what we're going to use on this survey also. You can see those are just some pretty straightforward areas for satisfaction: quality of hula instruction, the resources available, pace of the course, skill of the course, questions about the instructor, the Kahlua pork that was offered as a complimentary treat incentive for coming, interested in continuing my hula development, recommend the course to a friend or family member. But let's say that we wanted to add another question. As we're going through this draft, we see something we want to ask about another component of the hula course. So I'm going to go over here and click Add Question just to kind of show you how that works. And it's very simple. You just type the question in here. Let's just say I was satisfied with the complimentary grass skirts. And I misspelled a word there. There we go. And I'm going to activate abstention in case it was not applicable to them. They opted not to get a grass skirt, as would probably be the case with me. But as it loads, there it is. It popped in a 10th question there. I was satisfied with the complimentary grass skirts. And if we choose to use that question, there it is. But let's say after we get it in there, we continue looking at the draft and say, that question's really not important, and we want to delete it for whatever reason. Over here on the side, there's an option to delete. And if I can click it the correct way, it will, in fact, delete it. It's removed. Gone. The last section, I'll go to the last page. Typically in our surveys, we also give an opportunity for additional comments, which I think is a great way to get some good, true responses that can't be given in any other way. But favorite component of the Hula course, and how could your experience have been improved? And we can do this with both paper surveys and with online electronic surveys. With paper surveys, the additional comments become a little bit more complicated because those have to be manually entered in. The text recognition software does not pull in all the text from those boxes that are written there. But at any case, let's say that we are done with this survey draft. We're happy with it. We're satisfied. So we're going to save it. We're going to go out into the main. We're going to click on subunits over here, back to the main hub of our software. And it's being a little slow. I apologize for that. But as we come back to this main screen, we're going to see all of our subunits. And I have the active ones that we'll use down below, but we'll also see a test option. That is taking a really long time to load. There we go. And in this test option here, I have generated a survey. It's very simple. It's just a couple clicks of a button down here on the side, generate survey. It'll launch a survey, and there's opportunities to upload emails, to send them straight out. In fact, let me go ahead and show that to you, just where that would be done. Click over here on my surveys and go down here to the one we just did. Here we go. So this option here, schedule tasks. Let's click on that briefly and just take a glance at it. So here we have, over here we can enter emails, or you can upload them through an Excel file in mass, which is what we normally do, especially when we're dealing with course evaluations and we're dealing with tens of thousands of emails that are duplicated and sent out at a time. But you can activate when you want that email to go out. You can edit the text of that email. You can send out a survey reminder. This is not an option we normally use, response rate notification. It just tells you what the status of the survey, which is something we can go in and check a different way, which is much more simple. And then we can actually set a time to lock down the survey to conclude data collection. So let's say we've got all that set up in true Food Network fashion. I've had one that's been in the oven for a while. So let's go over to the other side of the kitchen and pull that out. You can see here, we'll use this first one. 6 forms have been returned so far. And there are different options for generating the reports of that data. There's an Excel spreadsheet, there's an HTML format. Each of them just give a different view of the data for how you'd want to use it. Most often, we choose this PDF format. It's just a great, clean report that it generates for us. And any of you that have gotten feedback on your course evaluations, this is most likely how it comes out to you. But you can see it breaks down the demographic questions and charts there. We can see a histogram here of the spread of the responses that we got on the satisfaction questions. This is a great, just one glance look of how the satisfaction fell in comparison to one another. And then we have the comment report here at the bottom. Looks like we got some good comments there about what was the favorite part, what could have been improved about the experience. It was like one person heard about the class through another means, and they were able to answer that question there. Something else we can do that I wanted to show you, like I said, we were especially interested in those who have not had any experience in Hula before. Another great thing that class Climate is able to do for us is through the Report Creator tool. Over here on the side, I'm just going to go there real quick. Not going to bore you with the details of how we get there, but I've analyzed a subgroup that have no previous Hula experience. Through a few filtering options, we're able to get this report, and up pops another PDF, and it pulls only the responses of those who have no experience in Hula. And we're able to see their satisfaction as well, which you see the results change a little bit. It looks like there was one individual who had previous experience and had a different opinion of the course. But at any rate, that is our survey software, Class Climate. Like I said, many of you use survey data in your IE plans, and many of you may be considering or asking yourself, how could I or how could I better use survey data? Hopefully this little behind the scenes look kind of gave you a taste for how the sausage was made, and that you'll be able to maybe explore some different options about your use of survey data. But I hope this was helpful. Looks like I'm a little bit over 10 minutes. I apologize for that, but thanks for watching.